Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another installment of 4th and 62. 4th down, 62 yards to go. I say no more. It does go back to the Joe Cap era when the Patriots played at Schaefer Stadium. So this is an irreverent look at the world of sports. I'm not going to yell at Steven. Steven's not going to yell at me. I'm not going to yell at Bob. Bob's not going to yell at Steven, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what we do. We want you to watch the show, listen to the show, enjoy it. If it's something you've heard before, too bad. But hopefully you enjoy it. You get a couple of yucks, couple of chuckles, and we move on. So,
Well, wait a minute, John.
Yes, sir.
You prefer a profile for the audience? You should have been looking at camera 1 and not 2.
But the red light.
No, red light.
No, the red light is not on.
Yeah.
Oh, now was on to you.
No.
It was on you.
That's the green light. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, cut it out. Okay. This is a podcast, so it really doesn't matter. So,
You know, John, let me just let you know that my brother, your cousin, was at that 4th and 62 game.
he was. He told me that.
He was, and he said when it was 4th and 62, everybody was yelling, "Go, go!"
So he also wasn't sure if it was Joe Cap or Jim Plunkett. So I looked it up, and I think it was Joe Cap.
I like Joe Cap a lot better.
Joe Cap, the only guy that
For 4th
threw a
and 62.
spiral. The only guy that threw a spiral by holding the football by the end,
Right.
by the thin part. Anyway, so Bob is dressed appropriately for today, wearing his Red Sox shirt, and I know in talking to Steven during the week, he thought the Red Sox stole his thunder with the signing of Alex Cora. So, Steven, I'm going to turn it over to you and talk about Alex Cora a little bit, because I know that was something that was on your mind.
Well, when we did the show last time, they had not signed him. So after we did our show, I thought, well, okay, what are we talking about next time? And I thought, Alex Cora, and I wanted to emphasize that the Red Sox really should sign him, and they did. So not on anything I thought of, or nobody called me. But anyway, I think he's a great manager. I think he gets the players focused and playing loose, and that's the real talent of a manager. He's also got all the right strategy. He deploys the bullpen well, and we all know the Sox this year just don't have any pitching, but somehow he's squeezing every drop out of them. And if they make it to the end, it'll be incredible. But I think he's done a great job, and I'm really happy that they signed him. And the last thing I wanted was to see him in a Yankee uniform, because I don't think Alex Boone is long for the Yankees, but we'll see. And that's Alex Cora.
Well, I agree with you. And for those of you listening at home, the great tones were that of cousin Steven, who's coming to us from parts unknown. Also with me today across the desk is the coach, Bob Pariseau, and he's from here in North Chelmsford, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm the North Chelmsford guy. So, but Steven, I totally agree with you. And I think the Red Sox had to do that to show the players that they were behind them, and to show the fans that they're behind them too. Because if they just let Cora flop in the breeze, it would have been a horrible rest of the summer and September and the first couple of days of October.
I think what happened was the Sox got lucky. I think Cora was interested in moving on, but his family, his wife, said they like it here. They like it in Boston. They like going to the park, and living in New England. So, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, and it's tough, Maybe we should take up a collection, because he's only getting $7.5 million a year.
Yeah, well,
So maybe we
took a hometown discount.
Yeah. What would he have got for the Yankees? $8.5 million, $9 million?
probably whatever he wanted.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. The Yankees would have killed for him. And like I said,
I was happy. John, I was happy to hear that he wanted to be here. So maybe he was just paraphrasing his wife, but he said it, and I believe him, and then I think that's great.
no,
So
and
Boston's a great place to be, whether you're live there or coach or player. So let's go.
and hopefully it's a turning point for the team. The next thing I had written down in my notes was the trade deadline acquisitions, where he traded a couple of bags of baseballs and and a couple of old rosin bags. He got rid of a whole bunch of people in the farm system that no one ever heard of. And he brought in Lucas Sims, who seems like he's pretty good. He brought in Luis Rivera, who's 118 years old, but he so far looks pretty good. And he brought in Dan Jansen, who looks like the second coming of Babe Ruth since he's been here.
Easy.
All right,
Easy.
Sorry, all right. I went a little.
I give Craig Breslow high marks for this. I think he got the temperature of the fans and the players just right, which is to say they deserve to have the team improved and to go for it on some level, because he didn't trade away any of his ace
Right.
prospects. He, like you said, John, he got rid of the redundancy, so they didn't lose anything. They picked up some, really much needed pitching. So I think he did just the right thing. So we'll see how these new guys do.
Well, we mentioned Lucas Sims, Luis Garcia, Quinn Priester is the kind of the wild card, if you will, because Breslo's been watching him for 5 years. All through the Pirates organization. I don't remember where he went to school, but knowing Bob, of his volumes of paper, he probably has that somewhere. But Breslow has had his eye on this kid, and that's okay. That's a good thing.
So Breslow liked the fact that he had 5 pitches and that he could control all 5 pitches. And so far, all we know is all 5 pitches are totally hittable. So that, we'll see how it goes.
I think it says here on his Wikipedia page that he had a very successful high school career in Illinois, and he committed to play baseball at TCU. But I think he took the Pirates offer.
Yeah, he went with the Pirates.
Right.
So, but, the important thing is, and Stephen, maybe you saw this, but last night or the night before, he got shelled 2 1/3 innings, gave up 8 runs, in AAA or AA, one of the two. So to your point, he throws 5 pitches, but they all go right over the middle of the plate. So good for him.
He's got good control.
Yeah,
They say he
absolutely.
throws strikes. He does.
He didn't walk anybody.
That's right.
Gave up
That's
eight
right.
runs.
He's really young, right?
Yes.
So
And he's got a live
good.
arm, so that's a good thing. And Dan Jansen, he was better than Reese McGuire. I won't go into Reese McGuire's legal troubles, who was a pitcher of Colorado that called him out on that, and then they started a brawl in the field against the Rockies.
If you can't do the crime,
Yeah.
do the time. Don't do the crime.
Well,
Let's not get there.
so that's the reason they got rid of this. They made the switch.
I
This-
think they wanted a right-handed bat.
Okay.
Is what you read. And Dan Jansen, since he's been here, he's hitting like 400. I mean, it's only a couple games or whatever. But then the last thing on the Red Sox, and timing is perfect, is Bob and his daughter went to a Woo Sox game the other day. And Bob and I spent a couple minutes on the phone, and Bob was all excited about the Woo Sox. So, sir,
Now the Sox, if you haven't been there, it's a great park, Polar Park, right downtown.
yep,
relatively easy to get to once you use Google Maps or something the first time. Parking garage right across the street. Really not a bad seat in the house. You know, the old cliche.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't. You know, they replicated Fenway except for the columns, so there's no obstructed view.
Oh,
You know, you don't get the real Fenway experience, but
this is a pole in front of you.
it's really good, and the team is getting some good support. They're a good product, and you get to see players on the way up, and you get to see them on the way down.
Yep.
Case in point, our classic 4A player, Bobby Dahlback. Now, the first time we went last year, Bobby got a little round of applause. Yay, Bobby, you know, and he did his typical check swing strikeout. And then this year, the worst thing that could happen to him is happening to him.
He hit a home run.
No, he's still striking out.
Okay.
But apathy,
Oh,
nothing.
you know what I always say about apathy, Bob? No one knows what apathy means, and people could care less.
Well, I think Bobby's reached that.
Yeah.
But it's a good. As anybody out there wants to go to a ball game, cheap prices, well, cheaper, great seats, good concessions, nice baseball, Friday night fireworks. You can't beat it.
You know, my minor league
Yeah, he gets a.
professional baseball, minor league professional baseball, minor league hockey. They're all great takes. They're all well worth the money. They're fun. It's the sport you love. So yeah, I think it's great. And I'm happy for the people at Worcester to get to see this.
It's and I've never been, but I've heard from friends of mine out there, like people like yourself and other people, that the park is gorgeous.
It is.
It's a beautiful place to go. Who did you see on the visitors? You saw
the Buffalo
Joey
Bisons.
You saw Joey Votto.
Joey Votto was there. Yes, he was. He
No.
came out to pinch hit, got a hit, got the bases loaded. Next guy came up, was a regular player for him, hit a granny.
Oh,
So
just to me, Joey Votto.
Was a guy Craig Breslow just traded for pitching for the Woo Sox?
no.
Yeah, Quinn
no,
Priester.
No,
Okay.
no, he wasn't.
Okay.
No, but to me, so there's a perfect example. And to our esteemed director up there, Bob does get a stipend from the Woo Sox. But
I was. I was promised some season tickets if I plugged them every time on the show.
so, well, there you go. But to me, Joey Votto was a perennial all-star for the Reds. He was a great hitter.
Yep.
Canadian kid, I think.
Yeah, but then he went to Toronto.
Yeah, and stunk.
All of a sudden, he lost it.
Yeah, he couldn't find the plate, couldn't hit the ball. They sent him down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but there's a great reason why people should always go. And Stephen, you said it. Whether it's minor league hockey, I don't know about minor league basketball, but minor league hockey, minor league baseball, they're great takes.
Right.
I remember in my past life doing some travels, I'd always make sure if I was in a town that had a AA or AAA baseball team, I always made sure that one night of the stay, I got out early. I went over to the ballpark. It was just me. It was a blast. It was so much fun. It was more fun than going to Fenway. And the food was good. The people were friendly. It was. I think what sticks out of my head is going to see Rochester from my travels up there.
Yeah.
Rochester.
I've seen them.
Yeah, it was a blast.
I used to live in
And the
Rochester.
parking's not $50.
Right.
No.
I used to live in Rochester when I was a kid, and we through the YMCA at the Knot-Hole gang. We used to go to the Red Wings games all the time. Yeah.
That was, and you saw a lot of upcoming Orioles. then, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was some, and the Spinners.
Yeah.
I'm still mourning the loss of the Spinners from Lowell.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great take.
And they did a beautiful job on that ballpark.
Oh, they did, and the ownership was terrific.
Yep.
great, fan friendly. It was a nice place. Another plug for the Spinners. Please come back.
You're not going to get a season ticket from them anytime soon.
Well,
That's true.
I've got 4. You can have
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts on Who Sox You Good?
No, I think I should quit while I'm ahead. Yeah, Oz is going to be after me. Yeah, yeah,
The director's very upset about that.
yeah.
So I had on here the Olympics, but while Stephen and I'll use this term, Stephen, you don't have to agree. We're conscientious objectors to the Olympics. Bob is an Olympic fan. He goes on NBC's 27 stations and figures out which one is showing what. And I can't be bothered. I don't, I see on the news that, like Stephen, you talked about, you saw her on the news, some track and field competition.
It was a 1,500-meter race.
Okay. And
That was
Medal
a great. That
race.
was a great race
That was a great race.
was that
it
the
was.
kid who came from 4th place
to win.
Yes.
it.
and he won?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
Big upset.
Yep. Yep. And that was, what was funny about that? Do you remember Dave Waddle
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
with the hat?
Yep.
He had the hat.
Yep.
So Dave Waddle, it was on Twitter, which I unfortunately watched that more than the Olympics. And they showed Dave Waddle was like bringing up the rear. And then they showed him all of a sudden moves up and moves up. And that kid's race, I believe, was on the anniversary of Dave Waddle winning the gold medal.
Wow.
So it
Nice.
was pretty
I didn't
cool.
know that.
It might not have been the day, might have been the day after.
See, you're a Olympic historian.
I'm an Olympic nothing is what I am. So
John, I'm not a conscientious objector to the Olympics. I am, like you said, I'm a little bit indifferent, and a lot of it does have to do with the fact that it's on 100 different channels and you got to go search for the stuff. So I don't do that, but I do want to say that I went to a Red Sox game last week, and they put a Simone Biles routine up where she won the gold, and the fans started cheering, and then they put up the medal standings, and the United States was leading, and the fans went nuts. They stood up and they cheered, and it was like, wow, this is a unifying thing. So I like that a lot, and it was fun. So go USA.
okay.
Very nice.
Is
Very
that good?
nice.
And I'm getting seasons tickets to everything that happens in Congress for that plug.
Good for you.
Yeah.
See, can you scalp those?
No, you can't give them away, John.
Okay. So, all right. Well, the next thing on our list in the last 10 minutes or so that we got here is tonight at 7:00 is the first exhibition game of the Patriot season. Now, Stephen, you have tickets somewhere in your house for tonight's game, but you
Not
couldn't-
anymore. I donated them.
You donated them? That was very
Yes.
nice of you. It's very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you. To whoever took you up on the donation.
Right, they're probably not going to go, but anyway.
Well, they might.
That's all right. You weren't going to go either.
No, I wasn't going to go.
Yeah. So,
No.
well,
I'm
was
a
it
little bit spoiled.
Ed Harding, the Channel 5 broadcaster, calls it fake football
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's exhibition. But hey, it's going to give everybody, all of us, people listening on this podcast.
Kudos for you, John, for calling it exhibition and not preseason, because it's exhibition. It's barely practice.
It's
So it's fun. If you're there, it's fun. You get to see some players. It's football. But the Patriots tried to get a lot of money for tickets for a long time, and nobody was going. So they reduced the prices by like a third, and so it's more commensurate with the product they're putting on the field.
well.
And anyway, it's exhibition.
No, of course. And, and it's going to be interesting. Everyone's waiting to see Drake May. Personally, I'm waiting to see Jacoby Brissett because I I don't want to see Drake May on the field for 2 years. But you know he's going to be out there because Mayo's got to show that this kid is ready to go, but he's not. At least everything you read and you heard from the practices
Well, they could take a page out of Green Bay.
with Jordan Love.
Well, go all the way back when
When Rodgers backed up Favre.
right.
Right.
And Rodgers sat 2, 3, 4 years.
Yep.
Okay, he didn't like it. Now we know his ego must have been fuming. However, he learned, and then now the shoe was on the other foot when they drafted Love. He sat, okay, and he watched, and then come contract time, okay, Rodgers left.
Yeah.
Then he tore his Achilles, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see Drake May sit. Okay, mainly because one big reason is you don't know what you've got for an offensive line.
Right.
We already ruined one kid. You know,
Yep.
And say what you want about Jones. Okay, he did win the national championship at Alabama. He had a better team in Alabama than he had with
came
the
to the
Patriots, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, he could.
Definitely had a better offensive line.
Oh my God, yes.
yeah.
So the kid got beat up. Then he got shell shocked, and I'm sure the coaches were telling him, "Throw the ball, don't hold it." So he throws the ball, throws an interception.
And I have this mental picture of Billy O'Brien screaming at him,
Yeah,
sitting on the bench there,
right.
even though that was the third year, and by then it was done.
Yeah, and
You know, the kid was toast.
he was frustrated. He got
was
tired of
done.
being the scapegoat.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happen to this kid. This
Yeah.
kid's got some potential.
Well,
Yeah, you can't put him out there if he's not ready. Absolutely.
Right.
and
Just let him sit.
I put on here, I got Joe Milton here. Joe Tennessee.
Joe Tennessee.
Joe Milton has a throwing arm second to none. But
Oh, yeah.
that's all he has.
Yeah.
I want to nominate Joe Milton as the official quarterback for 4th and 62. Because when you need somebody,
Perfect.
he's our guy.
He could
Right.
throw the ball 80 yards. So you're right.
Right.
He can
We
be-
need him on the team.
He could be our mascot.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I'll call the play. You ready? Everybody go out.
Everybody
This-
go. Run.
No, go long.
There's the
Everybody go
play.
long.
Go
Everybody go out.
Yep.
Joe, get as much air under that football as you can.
He's liable to throw it out of the stadium.
You're right. You're right.
It won't matter because nobody in the Patriots can catch it, so it's okay.
Wow.
Oh boy,
Boy,
a tough crowd.
how quickly
Was
the
that-
mighty have
was
fallen.
Was that too harsh?
Yeah.
No, it was true.
Well,
Well, you
we'll
have.
see.
I mean, you have to remember, right? The Brady and Belichick era, while it died a horrible death, is over. But while they were here,
It was pretty damn.
we
were spoiled.
Steve's right. He's very spoiled.
Yeah,
You know.
we were spoiled. All those touchdowns and all those perfect passes.
Yeah.
Which
that-
you're never going to see again.
And then that 1 year, maybe two, but the 1 year when they finally got an A-line receiver,
Randy
Moss.
Yep.
Now you
Right.
could see what Brady was taking hometown discounts, taking a cut in salary. He wanted a receiver. What they get? A kicker, maybe a third team guard, but he finally got his guy, and they were lights out.
They had the guy who had the greatest nickname in football was Rashay Caldwell. Do you remember his nickname?
Oh, the guy with the eyes.
It was Ricochet.
Rick. Yeah.
Ricochet Caldwell
I-
was the greatest nickname in sports history.
Hands like feet.
At the games we would go to, there would be fans from the visiting team sitting behind us, and they would be all excited and Yahoo and kill Brady, and we're going to beat you guys. And they were screaming from the top of their lungs, and I would just turn around and look at them and go, "You're going to lose." And then by the fourth quarter, they were gone
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they were waiting. They were sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But Mayo said
Yeah.
on his press conference and various other reporting that everybody's going to play. Everybody's playing tonight.
Yep.
So they asked, "Are you going to see me?" Yep, we're going to put him out there.
If anything, this game is really important to Mayo also
Right.
because
It's his first game.
this is the first time he's
Yep.
ever coached anything,
Yep.
head
Right.
coach.
Right.
So he needs a little bit of practice too.
Yep, I totally agree. So the other things I had in my notes here, the Matthew Judon thing, there's supposed to be a funny show. It was supposed to talk about fun things. Contract negotiations, to me, isn't fun.
Yeah. Right.
I put Christian Barmore. Obviously, dealing with blood clots isn't fun, but
Andrews did that.
you have Andrews, and he missed the whole season.
Yep.
Barmore could end up missing a whole season.
Yep.
So who knows what happens there? And then my
Yeah,
last,
that's a tough loss.
yes. And then the last note I had was O-line, which,
Oh my
I was,
God!
I was going to take a picture of a revolving door and just have a revolving door for the offensive line. But
Well, they got rid of the 2 revolving doors at tackle.
yeah,
Those poor guys. I mean, they should have bought a ticket
yep.
because they whoop, there it goes.
What? Trent Brown.
Brown
Yeah.
and the other kid, I can't remember his name.
Trent Brown, who was the biggest human being playing football,
Right.
but all it did was take one guy to run around him, and that was it.
But when he first broke in, he was decent.
He was good.
He was
Yeah,
a good player.
he was good.
I think he lost a little interest, gained even more weight. Now, he's a 400-pound guy that can't stand up.
Isn't it funny how you can tell when, just watching the player's demeanor that, they don't care? Because I got that impression from Trent Brown. I mean, I don't know, but it looked like he was indifferent.
No,
And
you
you see
totally.
that in other players too.
Right.
I totally
Can't
agree
pick
with
up on
that.
that.
Totally agree with that. That's a body language thing, and he just looked like the guy ran around me. So what?
Yep.
So what? Meanwhile, Mac Jones is pulling grass out of his face mask.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Trent Brown was like, I still got my $7 million. I'm going to be all set.
I've always said the offensive linemen are the most important people on an offense.
You're right.
Right?
You're right. Absolutely.
And
They get paid except for the quarterback, they get paid like that too.
right, especially the left tackle,
Yeah.
where our boy Brown
Especially,
was.
right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we have reached the end of the hour here, the half hour. I want to thank my guests, as always, Cousin Stephen from Parts Unknown. Stephen, thank you very much. And I'd like
Glad
to
to be here.
thank Coach Bob Pariseau from the beautiful town of Chelmsford. And I'd also like to shout out to Peter, who's our graphics guy. You'll see the graphics eventually. And to Pete, the station manager, for putting up with us and dealing with us and all that.
And
And
now he
mostly, I'd like to
Even
thank.
added his 2 cents on the podcast.
Oh my God, he's great. And I'd like to thank our studio audience. Don't you think they did a great job?
I think
today?
my wife is going to give us applause.
Okay. Thank you very much. Everyone have a great day.